News. I got news. Is that what I was supposed to say?
Is it good news?
It's good news.
Go on. Did you even think what the news was, or you just knew you had to say good news?
Yeah, you just told me how to say good news.
It's your news.
Yeah, it is my news apparently. But apparently, I also of late from the past couple of days ago got word that I have a short story that has also got accepted into the Halloween special of Siren's Call along with
me,
Caleb. So we finally have something
that we're in together.
Yeah.
That's pretty neato skeeto in my book. Name of the story?
Crow's Eyes.
Crow's Eyes. Is that it? Or did we change it? I didn't change it. Did you change it?
They didn't change it, but hold on, let me just make sure. So we're telling the folks the right information.
What's my story called?
Butt faces, right?
In
the faces of butts?
I thought it was anal interlude.
Yeah. Crow Eyes.
Crow Eyes.
Crow Eyes.
Hey, guess what, Spencer?
What?
Good news.
Good news?
I got good news as well because it's been a straight month of me saying good news, which is
good news.
I'm sure people do not like.
Yeah, fuck them.
But I don't ever get good news in my life, so this has been a good month for that.
And so they got a problem with them?
Suck my balls. Did you say if I have a problem with them?
Yeah.
That was my response.
Yeah.
I know. I have a short story, a flash fiction piece, actually, that got randomly published in Dark Descent, Whispers from Beyond, Volume 3. That's by Dark Homes Publishing. I submitted that I don't know how long ago, and I forgot about it. And then it just, like, no word. It just, the publisher, she messaged me and was like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm going to be sending you the copy of the issue you're in. It just came out. And my story is not just going to be, well, it's already in that. You could buy the single issue, or it's in British money, so I don't know what the fuck, $3 or something. You could buy the single issue, or you could subscribe and you get like all the issues because it's like a monthly thing. Okay. But in the summer of 2025, they're putting out a whole collection of these. It's like a flash fiction. I want to say my story's like 500 to 800 words or something, but I think they called it microfiction. I'm not sure. But they're doing a whole collection of all these Dark Descents coming out in this summer, and I'm going to be in that.
Oh,
and that's
cool.
print.
Yeah.
So I'll have another book for the shelf. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Because I did not expect that one. So I got my September publication.
Yeah, like you said, you completely forgot about it.
Yeah, so now I got every month, I think, right? Did I get one in June? I don't know. But I got most of the months. I got more publications than months or once per month, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good news. And the Siren's Call will be in that, and we'll have to figure out how to put a video or something together.
Right.
I have been toying with this idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll cost me money. I'm sure it will, so I might not do it. Because, I like to do like the little promo shorts for my stories that are published places. I just get like some still images I create with like AI stuff. And then I kind of make it look like they're moving a little through an editor I have. I'm thinking about just getting an AI video generator.
Okay.
So you could, for instance, my one story, MAGA Party, that's coming out in Violent Advents, I could do one where you could just have like real gross maggots and stuff. Like, again, they would only be like 30-second clips. It wouldn't give anything of the story away. It would just be more motion. It'd be like the picture ones I do, but just motion. So I might play with that because that would be a little more engaging, I think.
Yeah.
Because people really like my last post for the MAGA Party story I did, and I did that's just pictures, but I did it in a cool way. But anyway, that is news. Is that all the news?
I think so.
Alrighty then. Well, then we'll be back after this musical introduction, and we'll be talking about Halloween poems. Excited?
Sure.
You know what?
What?
I'll bring it up in the episode just because we don't need a longer cold open. You are listening to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me, as always, Spencer, the Cuban cuckold kicker church. You're kicking cuckolds.
Okay.
In Cuba. Or are they just Cuban?
I don't know which one would be more dangerous.
I don't know. There's like an embargo or something.
Yeah.
That's a word I know.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're allowed in Cuba again.
You can't smoke their cigars. I wouldn't imagine you'd be allowed to kick them in the testicles.
I think Obama got us back in Cuba, but I think Trump got us kicked out again. Maybe. I don't remember. I don't remember much. I'm hitting up this Liquid Death Psycho cider, so
Yeah.
get fucking pumped. What was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah. I was going to bring this up in the cold open, and I forgot until it was just too late. Couldn't discuss it, so I had to discuss it now. But you mentioned when you saw my book upstairs that I'm currently reading, The October Country by Ray Bradbury.
Yes.
I only read the first story, The Dwarf.
Okay.
God damn it. And I started reading this because last week's episode when we were covering best, was it Halloween books or
something like that?
It's a week ago and I can't even fucking remember. But that book was suggested. So I got it because I want to read more Ray Bradbury and it sounded interesting. And Salem's Lot just seems so far away in my vision. Like it's in the distance and I'm like, I should read that. But then when I get closer, Ray Bradbury comes in on the left. I'm like, hey, buddy. And I go say hi to him.
Yeah, when you texted me that you ordered that and you were going to read that, I was like, I was gonna say something about Salem's Lot, but I was like, nah, not worth the text.
But what are you doing, bro? I thought that was you. I was like, why are you rubbing my leg so furiously? Wait till we're off air. But the dwarf, god damn it. I won't give it away, but it is, I think it's like a seaside carnival.
I didn't see that. Is it creepy?
No, it's sad.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a back of the day style carnival, you know, probably had freak shows and stuff, but actually not mentioned. But so you got this real asshole Ralph, and he runs the House of Mirrors.
Okay.
And then you got Amy with 2 E's. I hate that spelling. You got Amy, and she's like the hula hoop girl or something. I don't know. She does something with rings. But she's the real nice, benevolent one. And she notices that a little dwarf, he runs up to the Ralph guy, and it's when they're not busy at all. And he gives Ralph the dime, and he goes into the House of Mirrors. And she's like, oh, that's peculiar. And he's like just this really ugly little dwarf guy. But Ralph was like, hey, you want to see something funny? And then you're automatically like, oh, no, where's this going? So Ralph goes in, and he has a secret back room in the House of Mirrors with a peephole. And he has her look through the peephole. And what does she see? She sees a special small room with the dwarf in it. And he's standing in front of this really big mirror. And he's dancing, and he's clapping and winking and doing all this stuff. And it's because the big mirror is one of those ones that make everyone look real long and distorted and funny, but it makes him look normal. And Ralph thinks this is fucking hilarious because he's a huge hunk of shit. Now, I'm not going to give away the ending or anything, but let's just say there's a scene that right after that where the dwarf, he doesn't know they're watching him. He wants to ask Ralph if he could buy the mirror or where he can get a mirror like that, but his pride won't let him, according to Ralph. But he's very like shy guy, so he doesn't do that. He just runs off. Amy gets interested. She finds out a bit about the dwarf. Turns out he's a writer. Okay. And he writes like crime fiction and stuff. Oh. But he has no confidence, even though he's an amazing writer because his stature. And she reads a section of the book to Ralph, and Ralph doesn't give a shit, but it's basically the inner mind of the dwarf character. But long story short, she wants to purchase a long mirror for the dwarf to have in his place so he doesn't have to pay and go in there and make a fool. But fucking Ralph does some fucking assholeness that...
Some Ralph shit.
He did something so fucking rude. I will tell you off air, but god damn it, it breaks your heart, Spencer. And then it ends with a very ambiguous ending. You don't know exactly which way it goes. It could be very sad or it could be vengeful. You don't know. But it's just like, god damn it, Ray Bradbury. I shouldn't be sad about an 18-page dwarf story. I thought it was Halloween stories.
You asshole.
Fucking asshole. But this Ralph, god damn it. So we're reading poetry.
Yeah.
We're coming off a recording of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, which will be out next month. So don't get too excited yet, but it turned out to be a really good episode.
I think so, yeah.
But that got me interested in some Halloween poetry. As we mentioned in that episode, Poe was my introduction to poetry, really. Like The Raven was probably my first real narrative poem, and I really enjoyed it, still do. And I like creepy poems and things like that. I'm not a big contemporary poetry guy. I'm more of a themed, which we discussed in our poetry episode, like genre poetry and stuff. So what better than to discuss Halloween poetry since October is coming and we're taking it seriously this year. So the first one on this list, and this is by justthoughtscompany.com, William Shakespeare, The Witch's Spell from Macbeth. This was written in 1606. This is my favorite Shakespeare poem.
Okay.
I really, really enjoyed
Still
this.
got Poe on the brain.
Yeah, I got Poe on the brain. Oh, I'm going to delete that, so now there's no one knows what you're talking about, so just shut up. Shut your fucking head. I got the bites. I can fucking get rid of you. I can fucking put you in a house of mirrors, and you can fucking dance, boy. I don't know what I'm saying. But we're recording on a Saturday now, and this is weird. Not used to having energy.
Yeah.
Recording.
You know, you're just like, and then I want to die. I really want to die.
For those who don't know, we always record on Mondays, and Mondays are usually my worst day of work, and I'm just miserable every episode. But now, on a Saturday when I'm off, and Spencer is off now,
Even Nitro's happy about it.
yeah, he don't know what to do. He's over here dog farting and all. He's very excited. So Song of the Witches. This is one of my favorite, and you'll actually know this, believe it or not.
Okay.
First line, I'll guarantee you know this. You might not know the whole poem, but you'll know this, even though you probably didn't know it was from Macbeth. Double, double, toil and trouble. Yeah. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble, cool it with the baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. Excellent. Fucking great.
Yeah.
When I read that in there and realized that was a real Shakespeare thing, because I don't know what, because before I read Macbeth and stuff, neither of us were versed in Shakespeare.
No.
I don't remember learning it in school, believe it or not. Who would have thought an inner city school didn't teach Shakespeare?
Yeah.
Maybe in advanced English, not us. But I never remember. I remember the double boil. I never knew it was Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's just always something you heard.
Well, like we talked about in the Poe episode about the Raven, the Simpsons and stuff. I'm pretty sure I just heard that off of the Simpsons.
Yeah. What's the one Disney movie with all the witches that they Hocus Pocus?
Hocus Pocus, yeah. Which is the three witches based on the Shakespeare's Macbeth. Everything's based on Shakespeare, and most people don't know because they don't read Shakespeare. Next up is John Donne, The Apparition, 1633. So a little more modern. John Donne, I'm assuming I say his name, Donne. John Donne was an English poet known for his bold, terse verse that ran counter to the prevailing floral language of his peers. So you might like him. Donne was also an angelic priest and served in Parliament. Angelican priest, whatever that is. So I'm going to see. I don't know how long. Yeah, I'm not going to read these if they're super long, by the way. This one's not. When by thy scorn, O murderess, I am dead, and that thou thinkest thee free from all solicitation from me, then shall my ghost come to thy bed, and thee, feigned vestal, in words arms shall see. Then thy sick taper will begin to wink, and he whose thou art then being heard for, will, if thou stir or pinch to wake him, think thou callest for more. Thou callest for more, and in false sleep will from thee shrink. And then poor aspen wretch, neglected thou bathed in a cold quicksilver. I can't read any more of this. Why is that more Shakespeare than Shakespeare was? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So I don't think you would like John Donne.
No, that did not seem pleasant.
Number 3, Robert Herrick, The Hag, 1648. Robert Herrick is best known for the line, "Gather ye rosebuds while ye may," which is from one of the lyrical poems for which he was known. Although Herrick primarily wrote love poems, he also chose darker subject matter on occasion, including this poem. Butts, butts, and more butts. Pooping out your butts. Pooping in your butt. Pooping from a butt to another butt. Sorry, it was taking long for that link to load. So this is Robert Herrick, The Hag, which I like that name. I actually have a story in Horoscope Volume 4 that I'm thinking about submitting for a reprint somewhere called The Bog Hag.
Ooh.
Actually, it's just called, it's cleaner. I got rid of the. Bog Hag.
Yeah, Bog Hag.
Bog Hag. I like the word hag.
It's a strong word.
It is a strong word. The hag is astride, this night for to ride. The devil and she together, through thick and through thin, now out and then in. Though ne'er so foul be the weather, a thorn or a burr she takes for a spur, with a lash of a bramble she rides now. Through brakes and through This is hard to read.
It's like it rhymes and then just stops.
Yeah.
And then picks up the rhyme again.
Through brakes and through briars, or ditches and mires, she follows the spirit that guides now. No beast for his food dares now range the wood, but hushed in his lair he lies lurking, while mischiefs by these on land and on seas at noon of night are working. The storm will arise and trouble the skies this night, and more for the wonder. The ghost from the tomb affrighted shall come, called out by the clap of the thunder. It's just weird because there's like the word storm has an E at the end, or called a CAL''D. So it's like things in my head that are like have to pause to configure what this means. Can we get some more modern ones, Spencer? I want some more modern. You know what's modern? Robert Burns' Halloween from 1785. Scotland's national poet, Robert Burns, was a leading writer of the Romantic era and widely published during his lifetime. He wrote frequently of life in rural Scotland, celebrating its natural beauty and the people who lived there. Many of his poems, including this one, are written in a Scottish vernacular intended to be spoken aloud. Oh boy! Can't wait to read this one.
You know what voice you have to do.
I can't do Scottish, though. Oh no. It's not found? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do some searching for this one. I hate this.
We could just say that it's long and you're not going to read it.
Shut up.
All right.
Who told you to do that?
Oh, bother.
I wish you would say that more often. I think that's how you should reply to every scolding you get. Every scolding. You just, oh, bother. Oh, all right. Halloween. And remember, I cannot do a Scottish accent, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My throat hurts. So Halloween by Robert Burns. Upon that night when fairies light on castleless dawns dance, or o'er the lays in splendid blaze on sprightly coursers prance, or for culling the rout of a tennin beneath the moon and pale beams, there up the cove to stray and rove among the rocks and streams. Oh, there's some R's in there. To sport that night among the bonny winding banks, where Donan's wimpling glare, where Bruce and ruled the Myrtle ranks and shook his Carrick spear. Some merry friendly country folks together did convene to burn their knits and pout their stocks and haud their Halloween. Fu blithe that night, the lasses' feet in cleanly neat, mair braw than when they fine. Their faces blithe, fu sweetly kithe, hearth and warm and kin. These aren't even words. The lads said ring and wig and wooger bobs, will knotted on their garten. Some unco blight and some wee gobs, gar lasses heights gang startin', of course, whilst fast at night. Ooh. All right, I'm going to read a little more of this.
I'm not even sure what's happening right now.
Then, I don't know. Here, let me read it as an American real quick. I'll reread that line as an American. I'm not going to read more. The lasses' feet in cleanly neat, mair braw than when they're fine. Their faces blithe, fu sweetly kithe, hearts leal and warm and kin.
You're falling back into it.
The lads say trig, wee wooer babs, wheel knotted on their garten, some unco blate and some wee gaps. It makes you do that. Gar lasses hearts gang startin', whilst fast. I would have said fartin' after that.
Yeah.
These aren't words. Poor Havel will fell all the. Yeah. And it gets worse. We stalks out over the shoulder and gives the Gustav sweet or sour. We jock laggers the taste of them so cosily alone the door. We can't care the place in there to lie the night.
That's better.
The lasses draws a fanga manga thanga poo their stalks of corn, but Rob slips out and jinks about behind the muckle thorn. He gripped it Nelly hard and fast, loud skittled it in the lasses, but her tap a pickle maced was lost when kiddling in the houses went in the night. I can't. It's 20 pages of that. It's so long. I want you to read any of it. I want you to read, Spencer.
I want to.
Hold on. I'm going to come.
I'll look at it.
I'm going to look at the easiest one.
Oh, God. There's not an easiest one.
Okay, here. Just right here. Just can you even pronounce some of these words?
Yeah, the last and star and fasten magans them to a pua. Yeah, I don't. That's corn. I know corn.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a great one.
Yeah,
30 pages of that. Next up is George Gordon, Lord Byron, Darkness. This is 1816. George Gordon, also known as Lord Byron. I didn't know his real name was George Gordon. There's some controversy about Lord Byron being one of them homosexuals.
Ooh, that didn't go good back then.
Apparently, they burned some of his letters at his will, And there may have been some man-on-man love in those letters.
Ooh.
Sorry, but if a guy named Lord Byron wasn't gay, what's the point of being gay?
Yeah.
You probably get what I'm saying there.
I don't know if that's offensive or not.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you're going to go by Lord Byron when your name is George. You better be gay. Lord Byron was a poet, politician, and noted member of the English aristocracy. His poems, often epic in length, are considered icons of the Romantic era. Darkness was inspired in part by the year without summer, when a massive volcanic eruption in Indonesia resulted in below normal temperatures all year throughout the world. You know, that Scottish poem I just read reminded me of Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men poem.
Okay.
Because most people, it's what is that poem? It's just a line. It's a full poem, but the line that everyone knows is the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry.
Yeah.
The actual reading of that is the best laid schemes o' mice and men off gay a glay or something like that. So this is Darkness. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just read the opening. I had a dream, which was not all a dream. The bright sun was extinguished, and the stars did wander darkling in the eternal space. Rayless and pathless, and the icy earth swung blind and blackening in the moonless air. Morn came and came and brought no day, and men forgot their passions in the dread of their desolation, and all hearts. Okay, so that one actually has a Halloween feel to it. It's in English for one. Number 6, the Edgar Allan Poe fella. He has some little unknown piece called The Raven.
Boo.
The Dookie Poop. We don't need to read The Raven because we did a whole episode on that. So
you should just splice in from the beginning
of last week's episode,
Yeah.
of me reading The Raven.
Yeah.
I only read a part of The Raven, but or I could just read it now. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and I keep wanting to add those R's. Over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly nappy, suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Sorry, I'm in an aggressive mood now. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, which is your all-time favorite poem, I know that for sure, wrote Haunted Houses. So Mr. Longfellow is best remembered for his lyrical poems that celebrate early Americana, including Paul Revere's Ride and the Song of Hiawatha. In this poem, Longfellow imagines what lingers within dwellings after the occupants have passed on. Clicked it. Waiting. Ooh, burp.
Burp it.
Burpy farts. Haunted Houses by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Oh, by the way, that dwarf, his name in the Ray Bradbury story was Mr. Bigelow. They called him Mr. Big. And Ralph laughed so hard at that because he's a dickhead. All houses wherein men have lived and died are haunted houses through the open doors. The harmless phantoms on their errands glide with feet that make no sound upon the floors. Good opening. We meet them at the doorway, on the stairs, along the passages they come and go, impalpable impressions on the air, a sense of something moving to and fro. There are more guests at table than the host. Invited, the illuminated hall is thronged with quiet, inoffensive ghosts, as silent as the pictures on the wall. And that goes on a pretty cool, imagery too. I like that. Haunted houses are my jam. But we are coming to a more modern one, Spencer. I'm telling you.
All right.
Now, Christina Rossetti has one of the most famous poems of all time. This came out in 1862 called Goblin Market. So, Christina Rossetti was a British poet who came from an accomplished family of poets. She drew inspiration from a mysticism and the occult, writing verse for both children and adults. Goblin Market is one of her best-known poems. The only one of hers I know, actually. Ooh, this is not a good site. It took me to. Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti. Morning and evening, maids heard the goblins cry, "Come buy our orchard fruits, come buy, come buy. Apples and quinces, lemons and oranges, plump unpecked cherries, melons and raspberries, bloom down cheeked peaches, swart-headed mulberries, wild fruit." Oh, God, it's just all fucking fruits. Everything's fruit. When do we get to the monster? This is fucking monsters or goblins? I'm not even going to read. I'm going to skip straight to like the 10th stanza or whatever this is. Backwards up the mossy glen, turned and trooped the goblin men, with their shrill repeated cry, "Come buy, come buy." So they're chasing these people after some time. When they reached where Laura was, they stood stock still upon the moss, leering at each other, brother with queer brother, signaling each other, brother with sly brother. One set his basket down on rear display, and it goes on and on. They get chased by some goblin men, as one happens when they're at the goblin market. What do you expect's going to happen at the goblin market?
If you're not getting chased by goblins, what are you doing?
Just buy the fruit.
Yeah.
So much of it. Walt Whitman, the mystic trumpeter. You're a big Walt Whitman guy, aren't you? Oh, Captain, my Captain. You ever see Dead Poet Society?
Oh, a long time ago.
Ethan Hawke, Robin Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the movie. I don't know if I've ever watched the whole thing, but I remember seeing that scene with them standing on the desks and stuff.
Yeah. Walt Whitman, a sweaty-toothed madman.
Ooh.
Ethan Hawke called him in the book. Not the book.
How do your teeth get sweaty?
Robin Williams, because Ethan Hawke has a dreadful fear of reading out loud.
Oh.
And they're supposed to do a poem. And Ethan Hawke doesn't want to read, so he doesn't do a poem. And Robin Williams' character makes him go up, and he covers his eyes and says, there's a picture of Walt Whitman on the wall, and he says, what does he look like to you or something? And he's putting him on the spot. He's doing that. Just whatever comes out of your head, and he says, sweaty tooth madman or something. So Walt Whitman was an American writer and poet whose work often romanticized the natural world, which was quickly vanishing as the U.S. expanded its borders. The composer Gustav Holst used this poem as inspiration for his composition, First Choral Symphony. So let's see what the mystic trumpeter is. Hark! I like when things start with hark. Hark! Some wild trumpeter, some strange musician, hovering unseen in air, vibrates capricious tunes tonight. I hear thee, trumpeter, listening alert, I catch thy notes, now pouring, whirling like a tempest around me, now low, subdued, now in the distant lost. And it goes on for some time. About trumpets. Enough about the sun! Oh my God. This is our last one on the list, and it's 1915 is as modern as we get with this. And I feel it's because people don't write quality Halloween poems anymore.
No.
Robert Frost. I'm a big Frostonite.
You're a Frosty.
I'm not. I think he's boring. Robert Frost, Ghost House.
Okay. If he makes ghosts boring.
Probably. Robert Frost was one of the most famous poets in the U.S. In the 20th century, he became famous for his many poems chronicling life in rural New England and was honored with both a Pulitzer Prize and Congressional Gold Medal for his writing. This poem imagines the spooky interior of an abandoned home. I just think he's boring, all right? I read his whole collection, and fuck you. It was one of what you got, but the Robert Frost collection. I'm pointing to Spencer's Edgar Allan Poe poetry collection. And it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
It's all about fucking farming.
Oh.
Maybe this is better because it's not about farming.
Ghost farming.
Ghost House by Robert Frost. That would suck if you're a ghost and you still had a farm. I dwell in a lonely house I know that vanished many summer ago and left no trace but the cellar walls and a cellar in which the daylight falls and the purple-stemmed wild raspberries grow. Over ruined fences the grapevine shield, the woods come back to the mowing field. The orchard tree has grown one copse of new wood and old where the woodpecker chops. Why did I say chops? Of new wood and old where the woodpecker chops. The footpath down and the well is healed. I dwell with the strangely aching heart in that vanished abode there far apart. In 30 pages of boring shit. I don't give a fuck. I never did.
And that's why I quit.
I don't want to read no more Robert Frost. That left me unsatisfied. Because it was all old. And I didn't want old. I wanted fresh. So here is, according to the Poetry Foundation's top poems of all time that are horror. All Souls by Michael Collier, Halloween Party by Ken Nesbitt, Ghost Prisoner by Heidi Edricks, All Hallows Eve by Dorothy Tanning, The Witch, Elizabeth Willis, Samhain, Annie Finch, All Hallows, Lewis Gluck, Field of Skulls, Mary Carr. It's a big list, but we do get some Poe on here. But and the Goblin Market. I'm going to read Samhain.
Do it.
The Celtic Halloween. In the season leaves should love, since it gives them leave to more. Through the wind towards the ground they were watching while they hung. Legends say there is a seam, stitching darkness like a name. Blah, 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 blah. And I came, and it was sticky and made a mess. Then I didn't know what to do with my trousers, so I washed them. All right, Spencer, that's enough. This could be a short episode.
Yay. Still gonna be almost half an hour.
Yeah, that's fine. If you like this episode, you dick. No, I shouldn't say that. So this ain't no Ray Bradbury.
No dwarf stories.
I really like that Scottish poem.
Yeah, because it made you go Scottish.
It just made no sense. So if you want to read Spencer's poetry, you can go to the new Siren's Call where he has 37 featured poems.
Oh yeah.
Is that it?
No. Short story. Short story. Or more like a flash fiction story, really.
Just keeps getting smaller as you talk. Pretty soon it'll be microfiction.
Yeah.
Then it'll be a 6-word story.
Yeah.
Pretty soon it'll be, new baby shoes never worn or whatever. Horseshit. Fucking dumb fuck. Dick lick.
Oh, I thought you liked the guy.
Who?
Hemingway.
No. Hate him though.
Oh, okay.
Mike made me hate him.
Oh yeah.
Much like Benjamin McAvoy, I take my criticism from older gentlemen and I say, that's my opinion now. I shall never divert. I cannot like Poe because Harold Bloom says no. That makes no sense to anybody who hasn't listened to the future Poe episode yet. But it will make sense if you go back.
Yeah.
So anyway, folks, we thank you for listening. If you want to check us out on the internet, at DPW Podcast on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Spencer's OnlyFans this week. I forgot what it was. What did I say? Do you remember the place?
That's what I'm trying to think.
I made it up on the spot, and I don't have any clue. Cuban cuckold kicker.
Yes, that's what it was.
I don't know how I remember that. It's a dumb one, but I guess you're kicking cuckolds in the cooch. Could have been cooch. I should have threw cooch in there. Could have been actually Cuban cooch kicker would have been better. Because you're kicking something more. Well, you can follow me at CalebJamesK.com as well. I have publishing news every fucking week, it seems. So check that out. We thank you for listening, and we will check you out next week with a no plan. But now I can finally, since you got your schedule cemented, yes, I can message some people and see if we can get some guests back on.
Yeah.
We had another one reach out. I told him reach back out in November.
Yeah.
Because by the time I don't even know if we'll be able to get the guests if they can't come on in the next week or so, next couple weeks. Because October, well, since we recorded every episode, we might be able to record them, but they won't be able to release them.
Yeah.
It's a clusterfuck here at the DPW studios.
What else
Spencer
is new?
ruined everything.
Yeah.
He threw us in a ditch and he fucked us.
What?
The whole podcast fucked us in a ditch.
Oh, wow.
Very harsh.
We can still record the other day.
In a ditch.